Hi, my name is Jacob Scott, and for our week 6 reflection assignment, I had the General Motors Company. Um, and then, as you can see, I'm just realizing I forgot to change the title over here of Hasbro's to General Motors because I used the exact same format I used for our mastery assignment. But looking at the comparison of General Motors with comparable companies, I chose Honda and Toyota. I thought these were good motor companies because these are motors that not a lot of people complain a lot about, and it's not one of the ones listed already in our industries. General Motors had a negative 4.27 compared to Honda, which had a positive 5.66, and Toyota, which had a negative 2.02. So the median was 1.82 in the industry and 1.82 in the overall mean. It looks like that somehow goofed up. I don't. Median. That's supposed to be the mean. I don't know why it's giving me the same numbers. But overall, it's just symbolizing that General Motors is doing poorly in the industry for the 5 year growth rate and sales aspect. The 5 year growth rate and earnings per shares percentage was also a negative 1.29. And Toyota also experienced a negative in this as well, whereas Honda again was a 2.12. The projected growth was 13.9 for General Motors. Honda Motors had a 38.14, and then Toyota had 14.33. So Honda Motors came out on top of this one. And you can see the trend already that is appearing that General Motors doesn't seem to be that good of an investment standpoint already from just looking at this data. The total liabilities to assets would be 47.23 for General Motors, 36.67 for Honda, and then 41.21 for Toyota. And I'm gonna tell you right now, just I know these numbers for Toyota at the top are kind of nerve wracking, and Honda seems to be a top dog when it comes to interest coverage. But at the end of the day, I think I would rather invest in Toyota when I'm done with everything because Toyota ends up being a better overall company than I would say General Motors in the long run. Um, their total assets. This is trillion for Toyota Motors. This was billions for the other two. I just couldn't figure out how to put the trillion into perspective into this, so I figured I'd just say that when I was talking. So Toyota is already making more money than everybody else in the terms of total assets. Um, and then after we get past that, we're looking at indicators of value. And I kind of struggled on this in the long run, so I'm taking everything with a grain of salt in this area. So overall, General Motors does okay. I guess that their stock is going to be at 61 eventually because they're on an upward trend. They're like going up and down in a stock trend. I'm pretty sure I pulled up their trend. Yeah. So if we look from a year perspective, they're actually moving fairly up, and they hit a dip, but then they're going to bounce back and dip up. They've done that every year in the past, but I wanted to look at Toyota because Toyota is the one I said I would invest in that I've chosen. And that is simply because over the last year as well, Toyota has also increased but not had as much of a divot down besides in recent times. But I feel as if now, due to the holidays coming up and everything, they're going to skyrocket up. And they're already at a higher stock value than General Motors. And General Motors, I was showing you, has not been growing and has not done anything successful in the past few years to produce good growth for them as a company as a whole. So looking at everything, I would probably invest in another company instead of General Motors. I don't think General Motors is a good company to invest in right now, just due to them being uh, not very successful in the growth right now. Even though they're trending upwards in the stock value, I don't feel like they're going to go too much further after we get through the holidays, and they're going to kind of like plateau. I feel like if you could invest in any other company such as Toyota and even Honda, like if we go back to Honda, they they've seen to Honda stock. They've been trading up last year. They've experienced multiple dips and everything, and they've been recently going downwards. But I feel as if soon, with them having better numbers statistically in the books, that they're going to go upwards. And they've when I was doing research through different websites, such as the Washington Street Journal and Yahoo Finance and everything, it's talked about how Honda's done multiple different things in the industry, and they're pairing with new companies and they're releasing new things. And Honda's got a trendier approach to the stock value. So I don't think General Motors is the way to go. I don't think Honda is even the way to go, but if it was down to me, I would definitely invest my money in Toyota. I feel like Toyota is going to be your better choice for a stock investment. So again, I would not invest in General Motors. Thank you.